Hey guys, this is Red and Blue, the channel on YouTube for all things PSG in English. Please subscribe. Today, I want to talk to you about young talent again. We did this yesterday with David Bolly, but today not a PSG player, but rather a player who's been in the spotlight at the U20 World Cup. And it's, of course, Gilberto Mora of Mexico, the other Mora. Attacking midfielder, 16 years old, and he's really been taking the world by storms. And catching the attention of all of the big clubs and all of the football world. And so I wanted to shine a light as well and talk about him for a little bit. So let's just dive right in. Gilberto Mora, like I said, Mexican, 16-year-old. He's actually going to be turning 17 next week. He's 1.68 m, so pretty short, attacking midfielder number 10, so central, and playing with Club Tijuana. He broke into the first team in 2024, so he's got already one full season within the first team in the Liga Mexico. And, he broke into the team at age 15 and became the youngest scorer in the league. He also, throughout last season, scored braces, decisive goals in the league, in Leagues Cup. So he's really started to make his mark within the pro. He's also fast-tracked through all of the Mexico youth team from the U15, 16, 17, and U20. And he's actually already played with the senior Mexico team, with whom he's won the Gold Cup. And now he's back in the U20 for the World Cup in Chile. And he already has multiple goals and assists to his name. And he's really, really caught the attention, like I said, of world football and all of the big clubs. In terms of what he does, and you can see the images as we go, he is a number 10. So he is a highly technical player with really good quality of passing, sharp first touch, confident close control of the ball, when-to link-ups, tight spaces. Yeah, he does it all. He's got composure. He can finish as well. So he's calm in the box. He's calm from the penalty spot. He's got a nose for goal as well. So that's all very promising. High creativity and assist potential as well. A lot of key passes, a lot of assists in the senior matches. And generally good vision in the final third. And he's also, for a player his age, someone who's not scared of the spotlight and not scared of stepping up above his usual category. He stepped into the professional world without missing a beat, also within the national team. And performing in international youth tournaments and so on definitely shows that he's got a high degree of maturity. Now, in terms of what can he improve, because he's still a young player and there's still quite a few things that he can work on. First, in terms of his physicality, 1.68 m is still pretty small, and I think in general, he can develop his physical attributes. He's very fast and pacey, but at the same time he can gain more strength and try to do more in this space in general. Then there's been mention of him not being the most consistent player of all time, and sometimes, having flashes of brilliance in a game, but then disappearing for a while, and also across a season, having period of time where he's not as good as others. So something that he's going to need to work on. And finally, the third one is in terms of his defensive work rate and his pressing. He's very focused on the offensive, on, creating killer passes, on creating opportunities in the box for others and for himself, and finishing and scoring. But as an attacking midfielder, and if he moves into the bigger teams and the higher level of the game, he will also need to participate in defensive stuff, and so he'll need to work harder to participate in this, but also understand how the pressing systems work, what his role in it, and what's expected of him. Now, what's interesting and why I wanted to mention him as well is that he's attracted the attention of a lot of big clubs in Europe. And PSG is definitely one of the ones who are mentioned in it. Apparently, Luis Campos has made contact with the entourage of the player. So his agent is actually Rafaela Pimienta, who took over from Mino when Mino passed away. And then like they also made contact with his family. Beyond that, a lot of the big clubs are on the case. Real Madrid and Barcelona in Spain have been mentioned. Both Manchester clubs in the UK have been mentioned. So I'm not sure why they're counting Manchester United as a big club, but yeah, whatever. Inter Miami as well, even less sure why they're counting them as a big club, but whatever. The player right now is actually officially valued on Transfermarkt a little bit under 5 million, so pretty cheap. And Tijuana is club. They're talking about letting him go for 15 million. So that's relatively accessible. Obviously, still very young, so it's still taking a bet, but it's not a very big money move. So we'll have to see, because if a lot of big clubs get interested, obviously it could start a bidding war as well. And we can see that price rise. There are limitations to keep in mind as well, which is if we're talking about the Spanish club, for example, they cannot bring in a player before he's 18-year-old. So if they get interested right now, like they would need to leave him in Tijuana until he turns 18, which, you know, even for PSG, we might be looking, given his age, at a buys and loan kind of situation. Either like leave him in his club or loan him somewhere else, maybe in Braga, maybe like, yeah, there's a few options on the table. We'll have to see though, like we'll have to see what the player wants to do, whether he wants to stay in Mexico a bit longer, whether he's ready to transition into a bigger club. There's been rumors that the personal preference of the player would go towards Real Madrid. But, you know, that's something that we hear with basically every kid his age right now. So not sure how much it means. That we'll have to see over the long run. But yeah, I think in general, you know, it's one of those meteoric stories that, you know, we don't see every season. 16-year-old and already a senior scorer in the Liga Mexico. He's a match winner in the U20 World Cup. He's on the radar of European giants. He's a creative number 10 with composure and finishing rarely seen at his age. He do have some missing pieces, but honestly, at this age, completely normal. And I think if he keeps developing, you know, he's gonna have a brilliant career in front of him for sure. So this is what I had for you guys on Gilberto Mora, and actually it's funny because like at the same time I wanted to cover, because I've seen like there seems to be a lot of Mercato rumors right now, which is a bit silly. Because, you know, like we're as far out of a Mercato period as we're ever gonna be, but yet, like, you know, and there's a lot of rumors and there's a lot of like very, very silly ones as well, which kind of made me giggle. And so I wanted to, you know, share the fun with you guys. I saw a rumor yesterday that PSG was going to put in a 230 million euro offer for Lamine Yamal. So like, no, it's not. We're not putting in a 230 million euro offer for Lamine Yamal. That one made me giggle. It's funny, like Barcelona, they keep doing the same thing over and over again, which is like they leak to their own like Catalan media that PSG is interested in their player, so that they can make themselves look good and make their player look good. And so you'll see, like in 1 week, there's going to be another story saying like, oh, Lamine Yamal professes his love for Barcelona and like rejects PSG or something, when like there was never a conversation to begin with. But you know, it keeps their fans happy. They don't have money, so it doesn't cost them anything, and keeps their supporters happy. Another rumor that made me giggle in the same kind of stuff. Apparently, like PSG would be interested in Tchouaméni of Real Madrid. And there it was even better because those two parts of the rumors were actually like already in the same article. The article was, oh, PSG is interested in Tchouaméni, but Tchouaméni wants to stay in Real Madrid. So like, I don't even know why he went out in the first place, but yeah, like, I mean, yeah, interesting player for sure. And I think, we talk about the lack of physicality sometimes hurting us and lack of depth hurting us in midfield. So good enough Tchouaméni would fill in that spot. But yeah, I mean, realistically, like, it doesn't, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Like, I'll take him if he becomes on the market. But I honestly don't think in the market. Another fun one as well. Like, I've seen like a crazy story that so apparently Liverpool is looking at Olise of Bayern Munich to in the long run replace Salah. Makes sense. Like, Salah is getting on in age, and at some point he's gonna have to be replaced, and they're gonna be on the market for a top player. On top of all of the top players that they got this summer. But the article was going on saying like, oh, so Olise might cost like somewhere between 100 and 150 million euro, and PSG is also interested. And so, like, guys, like, to all of the journalists out there, if any of them listen to this, but like, guys, like, just look at the transfers that PSG has done for the last few years. Kvara, like, we waited 6 months to like not overpay for the player. At what point do you think like we're gonna go out and drop like 150 million or like 230 million on players who play in the position where we've got like Desiré Doué, who's one of the most valuable players of our team, and like literally like one of the most promising rising stars in world football. I mean, it makes literally no sense. So if you're gonna use PSG to like sell papers and get readership and so on, at least make the rumors a little bit believable. And actually, like, the last one is a little bit closer to the box. The last rumors that I saw was that Liverpool, who, if you remember, in the summer didn't manage to finalize the transfer of Marc Guéhi, central defender of Crystal Palace, that Liverpool might be looking at Pacho as another option in central defense. And honestly, I don't think he's going to move. Obviously, he's not been in PSG for a very, very long time, and I think he's well settled and he's a regular starter and he's happy within the team. But at the same time, Liverpool was already interested in Pacho when he came to PSG, so at least there's a little bit of history there. It does somewhat fit their needs. So I mean, like, this one, at least it's a little bit closer to the truth. I don't think it's going to happen still, but it is what it is. So at least thanks for making that one realistic. Anyway, this is all the fun I had for you guys today. Yeah, it's oh, what am I doing? Sorry, I'm doing the adjustments live. There we go. Yeah, like Mercato rumors in the middle of October, it just makes very, very little sense. But at the very least, make it believable and give us something fresh. Like, Gilberto Mora of Mexico. That's definitely a name that we want to keep in mind, we want to remember, and hopefully, we might see some action around this kid in the future. But anyway, for now, please drop a like on this video if you've made it this far. Let me know in the comment what you think of all of this, and whether you've seen any of the U20 World Cup, whether you've heard the name Gilberto Mora, whether it's a name that would excite you for PSG. And as always, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Hit the bell to get notified. And don't forget, even in Mexico, ici c'est Paris!